Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hello and welcome to today's class. My name's Danny and I will be your instructor for today. This is the Shoulders Beginners class. It's made for people who have shoulder pain and haven't got any experience of doing shoulder-based exercises. We're going to be targeting all of the muscles in and around the shoulder and some into the upper back as well. We're aiming to improve strength, flexibility, coordination, things like that around the shoulder. All of the equipment that you will need for today's class will be shown on screen. So all you need to do is grab a drink and then we will get started with our warm-up. Let's get started with our warm-up then. So with this warm-up, we're aiming to increase our heart rate, activate the muscles, increase mobility, all ready for our exercise class that's coming up. So we're going to start off nice and simple with just some marching on the spot. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. Do it at your own pace, whether you want to go nice and slow or quite fast, completely up to you. Fab, let's get going for 1 minute then. Make sure we're swinging those arms, lifting the feet nice and high whilst we're marching. Remember, we're working to increase that heart rate. So just taking it at your own pace. That's great, keep swinging those arms, lifting those knees nice and high. And we are nearly halfway there. Great. Again, taking it at your own pace, just as we start the warm-up. Okay, 10 more seconds. Great, and bring that down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do some jogging on the spot this time. We're only going to go for 30 seconds this time. Again, doing it at your own pace. Just make sure that you've got a nice, safe environment around you. Okay, when we're ready, off we go. Again, make sure we're moving those arms and lifting those feet nice and high off the floor. That's it, halfway there. Good, 5 seconds left. And bring it down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to do some hip circles. So for this one, I want your feet sort of shoulder width apart on the floor and the hands just resting on your hips. We're going to start off with very small circles. So we're going to sort of push the hips to one side, bring them round to the front and round to the back. Again, just do them at your own pace, and also with the circle, just make it as small or as big as you can, depending on how you're feeling. We're going to go for 30 seconds. When we're ready, off we go. That's it. So just make sure we're concentrating on really pushing those hips all the way around the movement. That's good. Because we're coming up to halfway, we're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. Again, like I said, if you need to do small circles with how you're feeling at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Or nice and big circles, doesn't matter. Great, and come to a stop. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to go into doing some leg swings. For this one, I'm going to do it just freestanding, but if you need to, you can hold onto a wall, hold onto the back of a chair, whichever works best for you. We're going to start off with our right leg. So again, like I said, holding onto something for stability if needs be. We're going to go for 30 seconds. We're just going to lift the leg out in front of us and then slowly lift behind. Okay, off we go. So just swinging that leg at your own pace. Like I said, if you need to hold on to something, then that's absolutely fine. Good. That's great. Keeping the knee nice and straight. And just swinging back and forwards. That's it. We've got 5 seconds left on this leg. And then we'll switch over. Great. Okay. So if you need to swing the chair around to the other side or reposition yourself so that you can hold onto the wall the opposite way, that's fine. And then we'll go for 30 seconds again. So on the left leg this time, swinging back and forth. That's great. Again, just doing it at your own pace, lifting the leg in a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left on this leg. Great, and come to a stop, just back into our resting position. So the next activity that we're going to do is going to be with our arms. We're going to go for some arm circles. So what we'll do, we'll start off with our right arm because we started with our right leg. We'll pop our hand out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some circles, just going backwards like this. If you need to do the circles nice and small, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you can, then we're going to do nice big circles with the arm. Again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. That's it. Like I said, make sure we're doing this one in a comfortable range of movement. It can be as small or as big as you need at the moment. That's great. We've done 15 seconds on this arm. That's great. Last 5 seconds. Brilliant, okay. And this time we're going to do the exact same on the left arm. So again, arm out to the side. You can do small circles if you need to. Obviously big ones if you can as well. Fab, off we go, 30 seconds on this one. That's great. Again, just going at the speed that sort of works for you at the moment. If you need to move nice and slowly through this movement, that's fine. Obviously if you can, then obviously we'll go a bit quicker. That's great, and just 5 more seconds. Perfect, okay. Last exercise of our warm-up, we're going to do some movements with our spine. So we're going to work in 4 different directions. We're going to go for a forward movement, a backwards movement, and then side to side as well. So what I'll do first is I'll show you what we're going to do, and then I'll explain how many we're going to do after that. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. For the forwards movement, I'd like you to have your hands resting on the front of your legs. And then what I want you to do nice and slowly is just come down as far as you can until you start to feel that bit of a stretch in the lower back, and then return up to your neutral position. Then we'll go for the opposite. So this time I'll turn to the side to show you, you're going to lean backwards. Again, just a gentle movement, and back up to the neutral position. Then hands down by our sides. Doesn't matter which side you do first, but you're going to bend over to the side, back up, and over to the other side. We're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just going as far as you can. Okay, we'll do them all together. So if we start at the front, we're going to come down, just go as far as you can, and then back up to that neutral position. Then we're going to lean back, again to the neutral position, hands down by our sides, drop one hand down the side of the leg, back up, and then over to the side. So that's 1 repetition. So now we'll go for our second. So again, we're going to come back down the front, nice and slowly and controlled. And then this time lean backwards. That's great. And then down to one side, back up and over into the other direction. Brilliant. On to number 3. So back to the front, coming down as far as you can, and back up, and then leaning back and back into that neutral position. Hands down by our sides, and we'll go over to one side and back up, then over to the other side and back up. And now for number 4, back to the front, leaning forwards and back up. Hands on our hips, and we'll lean backwards, back to our neutral position and down to one side and back over to the other direction. Brilliant. Last one now, hands back on the front. We're going to lean down as far as we can, back up to the middle, hands on our hips and lean back to the middle, and then this time we'll drop down one side, back up, and then down to the other side. Okay, that completes our warm-up. So if you want to go and grab a bottle of water ready for our exercise class, and we'll get started. Okay, so this exercise is called the bodyweight tricep extension. We can do this in a standing position, or we can do it kneeling down, whichever you prefer. I'm going to kneel down for this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the hands together in sort of a prayer position, and we're going to extend the arms up above the head. From here, we're going to bend the elbows and bring the hands back down behind our head. And then you're going to tense your tricep muscles and bring the arms back up to a straight position. Okay, that's 1 repetition. We're going to do 10 of those, have a little rest, and then we'll go again. Okay, so arms up above the head, bend the elbows down, contract those triceps and bring it up. That's 1, so we've got 9 more. That's it, and back up. Nice and controlled movement. If you struggle to get into this position, don't worry, just go as far as you can. Okay, 6 more. That's great. Okay, 4 more. Nice steady breathing, nice and slow. Just go at your own pace. Use those triceps to pull you back up to above your head. And last one. That's great. And then relax from there. Okay, so we're going to have 20 seconds rest. Have a little drink if you need one, and then we'll come back and do our second set. Okay, and back into our second set. So we're going to do the same thing again. If you want to kneel down, then do. If you want to be standing, that's fine. You could also do this in a chair, as long as the back's not too tall. Up into our starting position, hands in that prayer position, and then we're going to bend down from the elbows to the back of our neck. Contract those triceps and pull back up. And back down. Really contract this muscle here to pull the arms back up. And back down. Okay, 6 more. Really try and extend those elbows at the top if you can. Three more. Keeping the head facing forwards. Final one. Great. Okay, and then in your own time, return back to a standing position. that's that exercise all complete. So we're going to take 20 seconds, have a quick drink, and then we'll come back. Okay, so this exercise is called the push-up on the knees. So it's like a press-up, but we're gonna have the weight on our knees as well. So we're not using our full body weight. So we need to be down on the floor for this one. So take your time to get down. If you need to pause the video, then make sure you do so. So as I said, we're gonna have our knees and our feet on the floor, and then we're gonna walk our hands out so that our shoulders are right above our hands. From here, you're just going to lower down as far as you can towards the floor, and then you're going to push yourself back up. If that's too much for you at the moment, do not worry. Just go as far as you can, even if it's just a shallow press up like this, and then come back up, okay? Just do what feels right for you at the moment. We're going to attempt 6 of these press ups, then we'll have a rest, and then we'll come back and do 6 more, okay? So walk those hands out so that the hands are directly below the shoulders, and then we're going to bend from the elbow, keep the rest of the body still, and then push back up. Okay, and down, and back up. Remember, just going as far as you can. If you can't get all the way to the floor, that's absolutely fine. Just doing as much as possible. Taking it nice and slowly, keeping the rest of the body still. 2 more. That's great. And then walk the hands back in. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to take 20 seconds now, have a little bit of a rest. If you need a drink, make sure you get one, and then we'll come back for the second set. Okay, back into our second set then. So we're going to go back onto our knees and then walk the hands back out, have them sort of shoulder width apart and directly below those shoulders, and then off we go, bend the arms down and push yourself back up. Okay, keeping the breathing nice and steady and keeping the rest of the body nice and straight. Should only be our arms that are working here. Going as far as you can. Like we said before, if you can't get all the way down, it's completely fine. Great, okay. Walk those hands back in. Take your time, get up into our standing position. That's the end of that exercise. We're going to take 20 seconds. Grab yourself a drink and then we'll come back for the next one. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be doing something called active flexion. So we're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to stay standing for this one. You can do it in sitting as well if that's more comfortable for you, but for me, I'm going to stay in standing. So we're going to start with the arms down by our sides, keeping the body nice and still. We're just going to lift the arms up in front of us, up as high as we can, squeeze the shoulders at the top, and then come back down. Okay, we're going to repeat this 12 times through, and then we will have a break, and then we'll do another set of 12, okay? So take your time with them, nice and slowly. We'll go all the way up and all the way back down, making sure that when we're doing this, our back is staying straight. Okay, we're not overextending at the top like this. We're staying nice and straight throughout. Squeeze the shoulders at the top. Up as high as we can. and back down. That's good. Don't worry about how high you can get your arms. Obviously, the goal is to get them to the top, but if at the moment you can't get that far, don't worry. Just go as far as you can and working in that pain-free range of movement. Okay, let's do 3 more. Squeezing the arms up at the top. Okay, final one. Up to the top, squeeze those muscles, and then lower back down. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to have 20 seconds rest, and then we will come back to do this exercise again. Okay, back for set number 2. So still feet shoulder width apart if we're standing. Obviously if we're sitting, then that's not something to worry about. Arms are starting down by your side. And off we go, keeping them straight. Lift up as high as you can. Squeeze the shoulders and then lower back down nice and slowly. And we'll go again. And back down. Okay, 10 more. All the way to the top and back down. Remembering to squeeze those shoulders up at the top. That's great. Trying to keep the shoulders down so we're not hunching them up like this, keeping them down. That's great. Nice and slowly and controlled. Okay, 5 more. Keeping that breathing nice and steady. 3 more. Squeeze those shoulders up at the top. Okay, once we get to 12, bring the arms down and relax. Okay. That's it for that exercise. So we're going to take a 20-second break. Grab yourself a drink of water if you need one, and then we will come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the bicep and anterior deltoid stretch. All that means is we're going to be stretching our bicep muscle in between the elbow and the shoulder, and also our anterior deltoid, which sits at the front of the shoulder joint. For this one, we're going to be on the floor, so take your time getting down to the floor. If you need to pause the video whilst you do so, that's absolutely fine. We're going to sit with the feet flat on the floor for this one. The hands are going to go just behind us with the palms flat on the floor. If you can't get them out behind you, just put them by your side. That's absolutely fine. So the palms are going to go flat on the floor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle ourselves forwards just until we feel that stretch down the front of the arms, okay, and down the front of the shoulder. So just go as far as you can. We're going to hold it for 20 seconds. We'll have a little break and then we'll go again and we're going to repeat it 3 times, okay? So hands on the mat, shuffle yourself forwards until you feel that stretch, and then let's hold it for 20 seconds. So as with any of our stretches, we want to really focus on our breathing. So nice and slow breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and try and think about relaxing the muscles into the stretch. Very good. Also, think about just going as far as you can until you start to feel that gentle stretch. Okay, and come out to that. That's great. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a rest. If you need a little bit longer, then just pause the video and come back when you are ready. But if not, we're going to go for another 20 seconds. Okay, so hands behind us, shuffle forwards, and hold there where you can feel the stretch. Off we go. So remembering that we should just be feeling a gentle stretch down the front of the shoulders, into the upper arms. Shouldn't be painful. If it's painful, we might be just going a bit too far, so just come back a little bit if that's the case. Okay, and then relax from there. So bring yourself back. That's great. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of a rest again. If you do need longer, make sure to pause the video. If not, then let's get ready to go one more time. So hands behind us and move yourself forwards. And off we go for 20 seconds. That's it, focusing on the breathing, really trying to relax the muscles as much as you can. That's great, 5 more seconds. And relax from there. That's great. Okay, in your own time, back up to a standing position. And that's that exercise complete. So we're going to have a 20-second rest now. If you need a quick drink, then make sure you grab one, and then we'll come back for the next one. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be doing something called supine snow angels. So we're just going to be lying on our back on the floor for this one. But whilst I'm standing up, I'm going to show you the movement we're going to do with our arms, just in case you can't see it fully when I'm on the floor. So when we're lying on our back on the floor, we're going to start with our arms in this position, trying to keep the hands on the floor if possible. And from there, we're going to lift the arms up above our head and bring them back down. Okay, like we're making a snow angel in the snow, but obviously we're going to do it on the floor, nice and slowly and controlled. And like I said, trying to keep the hands on the floor if we can. Okay, we're going to set a 30-second timer and we're going to do it 3 times through. Okay, so we'll take a little break in between. But yeah, let's get into the first one. Okay, so down onto the floor, take your time getting down. And then we're gonna lie on our backs. The feet can either be bent up in this position or you can have them straight, it doesn't matter. We're focusing on the arms for this one. So we're gonna start in this position. Like I said, try if you can to get the hands on the floor. If you can't, it's fine, just take them to wherever is comfortable for you. And then what we're going to do is push the arms up and touch the hands above our head and bring them back down. Okay, for 30 seconds, go at your own pace and I'll tell you when to stop. Okay, off we go then. So nice and focusing on our breathing, nice and slow. Keeping the hands on the floor if you can. If not, just keeping them as close as possible. Great. Keep going with those. Focusing on keeping the hands on the floor and nice slow breathing. And relax from there. Okay, so we're going to have a couple of seconds break. If you need a little bit longer, then just pause the video and come back when you're ready. But if not, then let's start again. So we're going to go hands in this position towards the floor, just as close as you can, and off we go for another 30 seconds. So nice and slowly and controlled. Hands up to touch above the head if you can, and then back down to shoulder height. That's great, keep going. At your own pace, remember. Okay, and relax there. So we have one set of these left. We're going to take a few seconds as a bit of a breather. If you need a little bit longer, then just pause the video and then we can go again. But if not, then hands at shoulder height and let's go for our last 30 seconds. It's great, focusing on that breathing, trying to get the hands to touch the floor where possible. Nice and slow, controlled movements. 10 more seconds left. That's great, and relax there. Okay, in your own time, we're going to come up to our standing position. And that's that exercise complete. So we're going to have a 20-second break. Grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll be back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the supine overhead task. For this, you will need a small object, nothing that weighs a heavy amount. So I've got a tennis ball, anything you've got around you. You could use a ring, a watch, TV remote, a coaster, anything like that, just a small object. And then we're going to be lying on our backs on the floor. So take your time to get down there. If you need to pause the video whilst you do, then that's fine. So we're going to lie down on our backs. We can have the knees bent up or flat on the floor, whichever you prefer and however you feel most comfortable. We're going to take our object and we're going to pop our hands above our heads, keeping the arms straight. And all we're going to do is pass the object from one hand to the other. Okay, so we're going in and out, passing the object over when we get to the middle point. Okay, we're going to do this back and forth for 30 seconds. Then we'll have a quick break, then we'll repeat, have a quick break, and then we'll do it a third time. Okay, so when you're ready, into this position, and off we go. That's great. If you find that having your hands this close to the floor is a bit too difficult for you at the moment, then just bring the hands up slightly and do it in a position that's most comfortable for you. But if you can, then ideally, we want the hands up above the head. That's great. Okay, and then just rest from there. So like I said, we're going to take a few seconds rest. If you feel like you need a little bit longer, just pause the video here and then join back in when you are ready. But if not, then we'll get ready for our second set. So hands above our head and off we go, passing the object backwards and forwards. Really focus on your breathing again in this exercise. Breathing in and out nice and slowly. Passing the object back and forth. That's great. 5 more seconds on this one. Great, okay, and then relax from there. So we have one more left to do, so we're just going to take a few seconds before we do that again. Like I said before, if you need to pause the video and have a little bit longer, that's absolutely fine. But if not, let's take our arms above our head again and go for the final 30 seconds. Passing the object back and forth at your own pace, going as fast as you can. And nice, slow and steady breathing. Okay, 10 more seconds left. And relax from there. Okay, and in your own time, we're going to go back up to our standing position. Take your time. We're getting up after we've been lying down on the floor for a period of time. Okay, that's the end of that exercise then. We're going to take a 20-second break. If you need to get a quick drink, then make sure you do, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, this next exercise is called a chest stretch or a pectoral stretch. We're basically going to be stretching the muscles across the front of the shoulder and into the chest. So for this one, we're going to pop the hands behind our back. If you can, you're going to hold on to your hands. If not, then just place the hands sort of on the hips as far back as you can get them. And then from there, it's a very subtle movement. You're just going to pull the shoulders back as much as you can, squeezing the shoulder blades together so that you get a stretch across the front of the chest and into the shoulders, okay? We're going to do 20-second holds and we're going to do 3 sets of that, okay? So find the comfortable position for you, whether that's hands together, whether it's hands just resting on the back of your hips, whichever, doesn't matter. And then from there, we're going to pull back and we're going to stretch for 20 seconds. Off we go. So nice steady breathing with this one. Try and relax into the stretch if we can. Pull those shoulders back as much as possible. Feeling that nice stretch across the front of the shoulders. Okay, and then relax from there. That's our first repetition. If you feel like you need a bit of a break in between going again, then make sure to pause the video and return when you feel like you're ready. If not, we're going to go straight into doing that again. So hands behind our back, and we're going to pull the shoulders back as far as we can and hold for 20 seconds. That's great. So you should feel that stretch across the chest and into the front of the shoulder. That's great. 5 seconds left. Nice steady breathing. And relax from there. Okay, brilliant. So again, we're just going to take a few seconds before we go again, but if you feel like you need longer, then make sure to pause the video and then come back when you're ready. But if not, then let's go for our third and final time. So hands together if you can, on your hips if not, and then pull the shoulders back as far as you can and off we go for 20 seconds. Just pull the shoulders back to where you feel comfortable. If you're starting to feel pain as opposed to a gentle stretch, then we might just be going slightly too far. So just come back out of the stretch slightly. Okay, and relax from there. Well done. Okay, so that is the final exercise of today's class before we go into the cool down. So we're going to take 20 seconds, grab yourself a quick drink if you need one, and then I'll meet you back here for our cool down. Okay, let's get started with our cool down. So with the cool down, we're going to be focusing on bringing that heart rate back down, bringing our breathing rates back down, and sort of just relaxing the muscles after the class that you've done. So we're going to start off nice and easy with 30 seconds of deep breathing. So for the breathing, I'd really focus on breathing in through the nose and then breathing back out through the mouth. We're wanting those nice deep breaths. So when we are breathing in, try and think about sort of filling the rib cage, and then obviously releasing on the breath out. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So like I said, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And make sure, like we said, we're really trying to fill that rib cage with air when we're breathing in, and then breathing out nice and slowly. You might find that at the moment, because you've just finished the exercises, that it's a bit difficult to slow that breathing rate down, but just go at your own pace. Okay, fab. What we're going to go on to next, again, nice and easy, we're going to go on to some walking on the spot. So in the warm-up before, we were obviously trying to increase our heart rate with the marching and the jogging. This time we're trying to bring it back down. So we're going to go nice and slowly and just walk on the spot. Okay, for 30 seconds, off we go. That's great. So still swinging those arms like we were before, but obviously just in a bit more of a relaxed position on this one and going a little bit slower. That's great, that's halfway there. Five more seconds. Great, okay, this time we're going to move on to doing some hip circles. So we did these in our warm-up before, but again, a bit like the walking, we're going to bring the pace down on this one. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and again, make the circles as small or as big as you can. And we're just going to go big circles with the hips, nice and slowly. We're going to do 30 seconds all together. Off we go. Bringing the pace down a little bit on this one, just moving through the full movement, nice and slowly. We can still concentrate on our breathing in these cool down exercises. So really trying to slow that breathing down. 10 more seconds. Great, okay. For the next movement, we're going to be going down to the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to hold on to something, then do that. Nice and carefully onto the floor. And we're going to have the feet out in front, legs nice and straight. I want you to try and keep the knees as straight as possible with this one. And then we're going to rest the hands on the front of the thighs. From here, we're just going to slide down the legs just as far as you can. And we want to grip on to our legs as close as we can to our ankles, and we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay, so moving down just as far as you can, and then let's hold for 30 seconds. Off we go. Still focusing on that breathing when we're doing this movement, so breathing nice and slowly in and out, and we should feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of the legs. Okay, we're halfway there. 10 seconds left. And 5 seconds. Okay, and sit back up into that relaxed position. We're going to get ourselves back up into a standing position, but again, take your time. If you need to hold on to something to help you get up, then that's absolutely fine. Okie doke. Once we're up then, for the next movement, we're going to be doing some stretches, mobility work for the middle back. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. The hands this time are going to come up behind the head. And we're going to be doing 4 different movements. So we're going to be coming down into a forward position, back up and into a slightly extended position. Then we're also going to do some flexion to the side, back up into a middle position and over to the side. Okay, we might add in a little bit of rotation too, just to stretch a few extra muscles. We're going to go for 30 seconds. I want you to go at your own pace, and we're just going to move through all those different movements, just making sure that we're stretching all the right muscles. Okay, off we go all together. So coming forwards, back up into that slightly extended position, and back down, over to the sides, and then rotating. That's great. And again, we're going to move slightly forwards and up and slightly back. Then we're going to lean to the sides. And again, we might go slightly over 30 seconds, but we want to get all those movements back in. And the final rotation. Okay, and then bring the arms back down into our neutral position. We're going to finish off by doing 30 seconds of our deep breathing again. So we're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure we're trying to fill that rib cage with air, and then release. Okay, off we go. So hopefully this breathing will be sort of easier now. Hopefully you'll be breathing that a little bit slower. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, really trying to fill that rib cage with air. And back down. Brilliant. Okay, well done everyone. So thank you for attending our exercise class today. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you very soon on our next session. Thank you.